Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Monday evening. I know, or at least I'm aware that a few people are not able to join us tonight because of electrical problems, but this will be recorded and will be available afterwards. So tonight we're going to be talking a little bit, or I'm not going to be doing the talking, but I'm going to have somebody else do the talking regarding discipline and personal discipline, and what do we need to do. So I'm going to going with my little goodie over here and share my screen. And hopefully it's where it started off.
You know, if you study people who are at the pinnacle of anything, you recognize that to get there, motivation was maybe 1% of the formula. Maybe. 1%. And I'll prove it to you. If you want to become a world-class bodybuilder, say an IFBB pro, what that takes is you have to train twice a day, 6 days a week. You have to have 8 meals a day. Your calorie intake is regimented. Your meals are pre-planned and pre-cooked. You don't eat according to taste, you eat according to function. So my trainer, for instance, will eat and I'm going, what are you eating? And he's having he'll have chicken that was boiled without salt. And he'll have like half a kilo of it. And what are you doing? He says, I'm taking in protein. He doesn't say I'm eating, he says, I'm taking in protein. For him, it's functional. It's not taste-based. Then, you will probably have to train for a minimum, and this is if you are a genetic phenom, you'd have to train for a minimum of 10 years before you could get on a stage and compete at an average level with an average global bodybuilder. Average. Okay. So why am I telling you this? All of us here at the beginning of a new year write these things called New Year's resolutions. And then New Year's resolutions, number 1, make more money. Yeah? Number 2, change my boyfriend. Number 3, get into shape. Yeah? Number 3, get into shape is somewhere in the top 3. So what do? You go to the gym, you get a gym membership. Yeah? You go to the local Nike store and you buy like all of your gym gear. You are motivated. You are inspired. You are going to the damn gym. You go to YouTube, you subscribe to all of the fitness channels. You go to your Instagram, you follow all of the fitness models. You are motivated. You are going to the damn gym. You're going to get in shape. That's what you're going to do. The people you're following on YouTube have been working out for a minimum of 5 years to look like that. So you have the incorrect understanding that after a month of working out, you're going to look like them. So what happens in the first month? You're excited. You go to gym every single month, and you take the pains and your body is sore, but I'm excited. I'm going to gym. Then life happens. Company doesn't make money. You don't make your targets. You fall a bit ill. Something happens. And all of a sudden you stop going to gym for a day. A day becomes 2, 2 becomes a week. Now all of a sudden you've had a gym membership for 3 months and you haven't been in that time. What did you miss? You thought motivation was the formula. Winners don't need motivation. Winners need discipline. Discipline's about getting it done because it needs to get done, not because I feel like it, not because I'm motivated for it. You think Nelson Mandela was motivated to spend 27 years in prison? You think Martin Luther King was motivated to march across the states and proclaim freedom? You think, if you look at people that change the world, they're not doing it because they're motivated. They're doing it because they made a commitment to do it and they disciplined to see it through. Discipline is far more important than motivation, which is why you got to be careful the decisions you make. Because once you make the decision, you have to see that decision through. Like my mentor says, first we make the decisions, then the decisions make us. So you got to be very careful the decisions you make. Be very careful the commitments you make. Motivation, I'm telling you now, is completely overrated. It's important. Don't get me wrong. We meet according to motivation. We feel good, rah-rah. But that'll fade. You need a stronger will and a deeper commitment to see things through.
One of my key phrases for the whole day: disciplines work miracles. Disciplines work miracles. And here's the first piece that works miracles. Number one, do what you can. Do not let neglect grab you by the throat. Don't let neglect stall you on your path toward prosperity and health, being able to become powerful, influential, rich beyond wildest imagination. Don't neglect what you can do. If you can read, read. If you can change, change. If you can grow, grow. If you can take one step, take one step. Do not neglect to do whatever you can do at the moment. Of course, you can't run a multi-billion-dollar business today. Mark couldn't either 10 years ago. Mark couldn't either 5 years ago. But I'm telling you, today he can do it, because step by step, year by year, he took on what he could do. He didn't neglect it. He did the meetings he could do. He made the calls he could make. He read the books he could read. He took the classes he could take. And step by step, he got himself ready. I'm telling you, do not neglect to do whatever you can do, because it'll work miracles. Of personal development first, productivity second. Now, do what you can. Here's number two, do the best you can. If it's a foggy night and you can only see 100 feet, how can you see another 100 feet? Answer, walk the first 100 feet. Walk as far as you can see, and then you can see some more. And walk as far as you can see, and then you can see some more. So what you've picked up here, just do it as far as you can see it. And I promise you, if you'll execute as far as you can see it, you'll be able to see more. Do that, then you can see more. And finally, get in tune of doing the best you can. And you'll have the activity that'll develop the disciplines that will set this sail so that you can say, it doesn't matter how the wind blows. I'm prepared.
For some people, they see discipline as sort of an ugly word. You know, don't talk to me about discipline. But what you must understand is discipline is a most incredible creative force. Discipline builds a career. Discipline develops good health. Discipline forms the most incredible marriage. Discipline puts together a friendship that won't quit forever. Discipline develops skills that can be magnified, and touch the world. Disciplines opens up music. You can't have incredible music without discipline. In fact, we call them the disciplines. We call architecture and music, and we call playing an instrument. We call sculpturing. We call painting. We call writing, composing. We call those the disciplines. And the disciplines gives us the indication that, yes, it doesn't come except by discipline. But it also means that the discipline is the open door to the creative process to turn nothing into something and to turn imagination into reality. So here's what you must learn to do: appreciate the disciplines and welcome the disciplines. Here's a good question to ask. What other discipline could I begin that would open up a whole new expression in my life of turning imagination into reality? Without discipline, there is no enterprise. Without discipline, there is no magnificent structure. Without discipline, there is no music. Without discipline, there is no health. Without discipline, there is no advantage. There is no future. So discipline is all when it comes to imagination, having something real, believing in it, and turning it into reality. The key to development is to be all that you can possibly be. I don't know what your talents are. I don't know what your skills are, but here's what I probably am right on, that you're behind on an accelerated effort toward your full development. I would suggest that. Now, for some of you, I know that's probably really not true. But even as I look at my own life, because, I'm tempted to procrastinate just like everybody else. I should have written 30 books by now. I've only written 4 or 5. I should have done a lot of things, but I haven't. I got distracted, and all of us, have these challenges. But what could I become? What could I become? I had one of my dearest friends. I've lost him. He died at age 53. One day, and he drank a little too much. David drank a little too much, but he did all kinds of things. He was a builder, and he was a dreamer, and he did a lot of things. But his drinking sort of kept him in a fog for like years and years. About 6 years ago, he was sitting at the yacht club, and he was in a fog, and suddenly it occurred to him, I wonder what I could have accomplished all these years if I hadn't have been in this sort of foggy state. And he said that did it. And the last 6 years before he died, he was free. And he accomplished some incredible things that last 6 years. Being all that you can be and not let habits drag you down. Not let things, sidetrack you from the full development of what you have the capable of being. What all could your heart encompass if you really had the chance and you really had the disciplines and really got to it? What could you really become? What could you earn? How healthy could you really be? How many books could you write? How many poems could you write? So here's what I would ask of you. If you feel that you're a little bit stalled, wherever you are in your progress, I'm asking you to correct that. I'm asking you to see if you can't possibly be on a more accelerated track toward your possibilities and your full development. Here's what life is all about. To become all that we can possibly be. The full development of all of your potential, that's number one. Number two is the wise use of all of your resources. That's what life is all about.
Discipline. If there is a magic word that stands out above all the rest, this is the one. Discipline. Discipline is the bridge between thought and accomplishment. The bridge between inspiration and value achievement. The bridge between necessity and productivity. Remember, all good things are upstream. The passing of time takes us adrifting, and drifting only brings us the negative, the disastrous, the disappointment, and the failure. Failure is not a cataclysmic event. It is not generally the result of one major incident, but rather a long list of accumulated little failings. Failing in life is failing to think today, failing to act today, failing to care, to strive, to climb, to learn, to keep trying day by day. If your goal requires that you write 10 letters today and you write only 3, you are down 7 letters. If you want to make 5 calls and you only make 1, you are down 4 on calls. If your plan calls for saving $10 today and you save none, you're down $10 today. Now the danger is looking at an undisciplined day and concluding that no great harm has been done. It doesn't seem like such a bad day, but add up these days to make a year, and then add up those years to make a lifetime, and perhaps you can now see how repeating today's small failures can easily turn your life into a major disaster. Success, on the other hand, is just the same process in reverse. If you plan to make 10 calls, and you end the day making 15, now you're up 5 calls. If you then get up a few on letters, move up the savings numbers, you can see what a massive difference it could make in a year, and what wealth and accomplishment awaits for a lifetime. Discipline is like a set of magic keys that unlocks all the doors of wealth, happiness, sophistication, culture, high self-esteem, pride, joy, accomplishment, satisfaction, and success. The first key to discipline is awareness of the need for and the value of discipline, and especially the discipline to make the changes. What will it take? What must I do? And what must I become to get all I want from my life? The second key is the willingness. More than that, the eagerness to maintain your new discipline deliberately, wisely, consistently. And the third key to discipline is the commitment to master the circumstances of your daily life, to see and harness the opportunities to make something of the sun and the rain, the good as well as what comes in the guise of misfortune. Discipline does many things, but most important of all is what it does for you. It makes you feel better about yourself. Even the smallest discipline can have an incredible effect on your attitude. And the good feeling you get, that surging feeling of self-worth that comes from starting a new discipline, is almost as good as the feeling that comes from the accomplishment of the discipline. Second, a new discipline immediately alters your life direction. You don't change destinations immediately. That is yet to come. But you can change direction immediately. And direction is very important. Third, discipline cooperates with nature. Everything strives. It is a common life function. How tall will a tree grow? As tall as it can. Everything strives to become all it can possibly be, and that striving to become is what discipline is all about. Disciplining ourselves to fulfill our natural potential to become all that we can be. And finally, discipline attracts opportunity. Opportunity is always looking for ambition and skill in action. Discipline taps the unlimited power of commitment. The human will in action, driven by inspiration, enticed by desire, tempered by reason, guided by intelligence, can bring you to that high and lofty place called the good life. So start the new process. You can begin a new habit no matter how small it is. Small isn't important. Whether or not you start and whether or not you continue are all that is important. So to have a prosperous life, start a prosperity plan. To become wealthy, start a wealth plan. Remember, you don't have to be wealthy to have a wealth plan. A person with no means can have a rich plan. If you are ill, start a health plan. If you don't have energy, start an energy plan. If you don't feel good, start a feel-good plan. If you're not smart, start a smart plan. If you can't, start a can plan. If you haven't, start a have plan. Anyone can. Even a bad person can start hearing good messages and reading good books. Recognize that the start of the better life, the happy life, the wealthy life, is today. This is exciting. Both the process and the result can begin today. Start the new journey today. If you think of a new idea, today is the day to begin the discipline of putting that idea into action. Set this day up as a long, busy, exciting start for your new life. Get your first book for your new library today. Begin your new practice of setting goals today. Start clearing out a drawer of your new orderly desk today. Start eating an apple a day on your new health plan today. Put some money in your new investment for fortune account today. Start reading with intensity for your new wealth of mind plan today. Write a postponed letter today. Make a delayed telephone call today. Pick up your camera and take a picture of something to start your new treasury of photographs today. Get some momentum going on your new commitment to the better life. See how many activities you can pile on in this first day. Go all out. Break away from the negative downward pull of gravity. Start the thrusters going. Prove to yourself that waiting is over, hoping is past, and that faith and action have now taken charge. It's a new day, a new beginning for your new life. With discipline, you can't believe the list of positive moves you can make in the first day of your new beginning.
There we go.
Oh, very good.
That's good, Sean.
Okay, any comments while we've still got the recording going?
Stunning, Sean. Absolutely stunning. And he's so right. Gosh, that's where I failed, eh? I tell you what, no way. I don't follow through. You start with good intentions and then you don't follow through. And then, it lasts a day and 2 and 3. And then something happens on the 4th day and whoops, there goes the discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's not easy, huh?
One step at a time.
Yeah. Especially alone, I think, when you got other people doing it with you or following or doing their own discipline, and it's easier in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Not really.
Yeah. Not really.
Sometimes
Pull you
people can
back.
handicap you.
They can also pull you back.
Mm. And you just got to have similar goals then.
I think there's a wrestle between what you should do and what you are doing. So it's a wrestle between your mind and your heart. You know what you should be doing, but your flesh, which is weak, would rather take the least line of resistance and then skip those disciplines. So what would keep you on track? Would it be your diary or a list of things to do on your today list, or even that you can neglect? So I think this is such a good tape because we all fall down on our discipline side, whether it's an eating plan, not to eat the wrong foods. Imagine eating a boiled chicken with no salt. I couldn't think of anything worse than that. But his discipline was to eat the protein. Pity he didn't know about the NutriShake. But anyway.
Yeah. And when I was doing my coaching course, one of the things that they spoke about there was setting up a goals list and a daily goals list. They didn't call it a to-do list. They called it a ta-da list.
Ta-da.
So that when you ticked it off, you could go, ta-da, another one done.
Fantastic,
Which I
Sean.
thought was a better way of looking at it.
Yeah. We must start that
And
straight away.
it all boils down to action. We can write those lists. We can listen to the motivation. We can do all those things. It just boils down to get up and do it.
Discipline and action.
Yeah.
Persistent and consistent. Yeah.
But that's why it's good to have a
Jenny-
list as well, so that you can actually tick it off.
Take it off.
Ta-da.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. You have no idea how many lists I've got. Lists for this and a list for that and whatever. And I keep looking, and you're right. I mean, I'm not ticking off, in the odd times where it's like, I've done this, yes. But it takes me a long time to get going and do it. It's awful. I got lists everywhere. Yeah.
So now
that
you've
was
got
good.
the recipe down.
That's it. Now I need to move it, and like John said, put aside the easy stuff and get going into the things that you really need to do, because it's going to get you where you want to go, kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, one of the trainings I was listening to yesterday was on the power of consistency. And in fact, I downloaded the book quickly. I just haven't gone through it all yet. I'm busy with it. But you can have the discipline, you can have the list, you can have the dreams, the goals, everything. But until you do it consistently, it's not going to happen. As you were saying about the bodybuilding, you've got to go to gym twice a day, 6 days a week, consistently. If you want to run comrades, you've got to go and run a minimum of 5 days a week, consistently. A minimum of 5 to 10 Ks each time, consistently, daily.
Until
And
it
that's the
becomes a
tricky bit.
habit.
Correct. And
Yeah.
that's one of the things, I know I always sound like a stuck record over here, but with parkrun, that initial thing where it was be your best, that's what got me going there, because I entered the be your best competition, which I wish they would bring back again. And it forced me to consistently report back every week on what I was doing. I had given them a goal, and I then had to now go through with it. So I had to consistently show up every Saturday, rain or shine. And it's now become an ingrained habit where I miss my run if I don't go.
Yeah, before it was a schlep, now it's an enjoyment.
Correct. You'd see a cloud
Yeah.
over there and you go, it might rain. And now I leave the house and the rain is already sheeting off my hat and I still go out. I do sometimes question my sanity, but but it's that consistency of showing up and
Yeah.
getting through it.
I think
You
your
know-
will, sorry.
Carry on, John.
No, I just think your will to do what you have to do must be stronger motivation than your will
Correct.
not to do it.
Correct.
Mm.
And that's why one
That's
has
so
to have a
true.
goal, and you have to have that visible goal. And
Yeah.
when you get to that goal, celebrate it. Tick off the list,
Ta-da.
and then celebrate it. Yes,
Ta-da.
the ta-da part, but also take yourself out for a cup of coffee or a milkshake or a something
Mm.
to say, hey, listen, well done, you did it. That's what
Yeah.
the annual dinner with Charlie. People push for that, because that's their reward. Some of us lose focus too easily.
But that's so true. You know, if I look at the swimming athletes that goes to the Olympic, as you mentioned, Sean, they practice 6 times a week, in the afternoon for an hour, and in the morning, 6 o'clock, in the winter, 5 o'clock in the summer. So they practice 12 times a week.
Mhm.
And the coach, if there's junior and seniors, and I can't tell you how many laps they do. 50 kilometer, 50 laps, it's 50 lengthwise.
A lot.
And the coach tell them, are you tired? Well, get out, go and sit outside. If you don't want to swim, get out. And you know, sometimes you must just remind ourselves, if we don't want to do the business, we must get out. You know, and it's actually a shock to hear that, but then you realize you're in here, your choice, and you want to do it, so you must pull finger and do it.
Okay, so there was a form that Jenny used to fill in for your performance for the week and then
Yes.
for the month.
The
So
tracker form.
yeah, so that kept us on track on different disciplines that we had to do. Maybe we should bring this back. I'm just thinking a thought. What can we do about what has happened? What's happened has happened. We can't look back.
That's
So let's see.
the success tracker form.
Yes.
And you do
So
it for
maybe
90 days.
on that, we must add a few other disciplines. Your 10-kilometer run. I'm just saying something out the ordinary, you know, so that it can be a tick or a ta-da, but someone is monitoring this, someone is, or collectively, we can see how we all did.
Yeah, we
Yes,
must help each other to keep each other accountable.
Yes.
Yes.
We all,
That
me,
is where
I
the
can't,
secret is.
yeah, I fall down on that by myself. My success tracker's there next to me on the table. But I haven't done it because I tried to do it once before and I asked everybody to be accountable and I was doing it by myself.
Yeah.
After the second week, I lost interest. Why must I be accountable to myself? It's very boring. But if I know somebody's going to be ticking me on the back of the head and saying, have you done your motivation for the day? Have you done your 1 kilo walk or whatever it is? Then you're going to feel rather guilty that you better do it
Exactly.
before they ask.
You feel actually
And
ashamed.
Yes, you get motivated. So I would very much appreciate if our group could come back onto a success tracker 90-day, following a book, following a system, following a whatever, and actually being accountable, and maybe even changing the Sunday success into the success tracker accountability group. Just for 90 days, we can change it back again. I really and truly think that is the only way that we're all going to get, because we're doing all these things and saying, yes, we must do it ta-da list, I like it ta-da, and we must, even if we go for a virtual coffee together, we're all going to go out for coffee tonight. So let's go for coffee. And we go to a coffee shop and we can WhatsApp video each other and say, hello, I'm at the coffee shop, cheers. And I think it'll be quite fun. if we do something like that on a virtual thing, because we're all scattered all over the country, it will be nice, obviously, if we could all go together. But I think we must do it.
Yeah,
Just
you can't
do it.
do it. You can't do this all by yourself. You've got to be accountable to somebody,
Yes.
and collectively we can do this. And maybe even
Absolutely.
publish the results in the newsletter. That's blah blah. That person achieved that. Come on, let's put this thought together.
Yes.
Okay, if I can make a suggestion then, what about in the middle of the month on a Saturday afternoon? What time? 2 to 3? 3 to 4? And just have a coffee chat.
5 to 6
I don't know.
after bowls. 5 to 6
After
after
bowls.
bowls.
That's
It
important.
will either have to be on a Saturday because some people are working still. Hey, Mandy. Mandy's working. She's being
Yeah.
very quiet.
Jenny, can you design a list, or Sean? Let's have a look at it. Maybe the other form wasn't too friendly for the points, but I don't know. Maybe we just.
I think it was. No, it was very good. I like
It
that
was
old
too
success tracker.
much in depth, yeah, every day.
It was very nice. You didn't have to do everything every day, but
It
Sean
was
and I
very
will-
nice, but I mean, you had to do it.
You
Yeah.
have to do
Well,
it.
that's discipline, hey?
Yes.
Yes.
The key to that is the actual, have you done your bit today?
Yes.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
So the accountability, you see, that's the thing.
Yes.
because if you haven't got that, you're not going to reply. And
I
that
think
is
you're on the right
what,
track.
yeah, that is how it works overseas is you've got an accountability partner and you have to phone them, or in fact, they phone you and say, are you on track? If not, why not? And that is exactly the way that coaching works. With
Exactly,
coaching, that's
yes.
how I've learned with this coaching story as well. Coaching isn't telling somebody what to do.
No. They listen and they help you and they keep you accountable.
Correct. Coaching is, what do you want? In fact, I've got the forms where you write down, what is my goal? And the coach then works with you, and once a week they sit down and they say, right, this is what your goal is. Are you on track? It's all that the coach does, and you pay them a vast amount of money to do that. But it's not you have to do X, Y, Z. You have to complete that form on a daily basis. You have to talk to 50 people. No. You said, this is what your goal is. Have you done it? If not, why not? And how can I help you to get back on track? That is the goal of coaching.
And everybody is different, but everybody wants to move forward.
And that is where the Be Your Best challenge came in as well. Because
Yeah,
you
it doesn't have
set
to be huge.
you set your goal. I'm going to walk around the
Yeah.
block 3 times. That was a goal. How many times have you done it?
I think we've all got these step trackers either on the phone or on the wrist. So maybe 6,000 steps or something like that could be a goal for you personally. And I know Jenny P goes for 9,000. And we've got 1 minute left, but sometimes your form came in and you had 131 points. Meanwhile, most of us only had 42. So it was a bit demoralizing, but I think each person's got to have their own goal.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, so far I've done 7,000 steps for today. And it was a slow day.
6,600.
All right.
6,253.